So this is day 6 with Wyeth, or AKA Y. So I try to take him out for just a little walk, just so he can move around out of his stall. And it was a little hard for him right here because of kind of the change in the light. So it just took him a minute. So I put just a little pressure on and off on the halter to get him to come. And he eventually goes ahead and walks across. And he did that pretty well. You can see he's still pretty ouchy. But then again, on the grass, he walks better. So this vlog is just going to be mainly Wyeth. Eton is still pretty sore, and he is has a high flight, so I'm just trying to let him just stay calm so he doesn't injure himself further. So again, this vlog will just be on Y. So now I've taken Y back to the cross ties to do a little bit of work with him, and you see I've got the alfalfa hay. This is kind of like what he really likes. So I'm introducing him to, which I have done already, a little bit of the clicker training. So what's great about having him in the cross ties is when you start the clicker training, you want to also teach kind of their what they call receiving mode. So oftentimes people get concerned about giving horses treats in the clicker training because they think they're going to hound you, or kind of like mug you, or but if you teach your horse to be polite about it, and then they won't. They'll respect that, and so you can use that as well. So here I'm just kind of brushing him in a couple of spots. He's still a little uncomfortable. Anytime he kind of just stands there and doesn't give too big of a reaction, I give a click, or it sounds like a low cluck, and then I give him a piece of the hay. So I'm kind of going back and forth. He's letting me brush the mane, working down his legs. Kind of my big goal for the day is to get to where I can get him comfortable with me near that back hind left, so I can practice palpating it. You know, I have concerns of the stifle. I'm not sure if it's a hoof abscess, so the more I can get him comfortable with that, the sooner I can make sure he's safe enough for other professionals like a vet or the farrier to work around. So I ran out of some hay, but that works pretty well because it gives him a couple of breaks of me leaving the wash rack and coming back. So some nice pressure and release. And again, you can see he might try to come over in my space a little bit, but the cross ties kind of keep him from coming in my space. So it's a nice little tool to use. And then he stood politely there while I was brushing him, and so I gave him a cluck and then the reward. And again, I'm just trying to, you'll see me kind of looking at that hind left, trying to see if I can notice any swelling, really just trying to analyze it since I'm able to be a little closer to it. And again, I was able to brush further back down by his flank over his haunches. And then I kind of always go back to where he's more comfortable, which is the shoulder. And he also had some pretty nasty, like, mud gnats, like, right under his armpits and right where the girth would go. So he was a very good boy to kind of let me touch those, because I'm sure those could be sensitive and pulling on him right there. So the grooming is really helpful for them because it can help remove those. And again, like now he's letting me brush down by his leg, which, yes, I have to bend over. But I've been building up to that, so he's gotten used to me. And I do find it important. I like to wear my helmet. I feel more comfortable, and if anything should happen, then at least my head's protected. So I'm going to go back to that front foot again. And that was really good. Again, so the low sounding cluck, which you guys probably won't be able to hear, but it's on the video, you're able to do that right when the behavior that you want. So you can bridge that gap. Now you see I went to the hind leg, and he gives me a fair amount of warning that he's uncomfortable. So I was able to touch kind of right just near the stifle, right above the hock. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to work my way back again and see if I can touch again. And that time he was good. So I give him the reward. And then I'm going to repeat. Kind of keep rubbing in the spaces I know he's comfortable with, and you just kind of go by inches. And then that time I was able to touch the stifle, and he wasn't concerned at all. And this is really good. Oftentimes, Mustangs that are injured are going to be super protective of the injured leg. So I'm quite happy with how he's responding. And that time I was able to touch the hock. Because sometimes they just won't let you get anywhere near them because they feel injured and threatened, but he's building his trust, and so it's great because, again, the sooner I can kind of get in there and get him comfortable, which you can see he wasn't comfortable there, so I'm going to kind of stay there until he keeps the foot still, and then he was good. But the sooner I can get that accomplished, again, the sooner I can diagnose it. Because I still don't really know what it is. I'm very hopeful it's in the foot. Seems like it's in the foot since he's walking sounder on the grass than he is on the hard. And if it was an injury to the stifle, generally that would not occur. So I'm going to go back. And there you can see he lets me go all the way down almost to the fetlock. And I've tried to introduce him to treats, and he is starting to eat a little bit of grain, but he just prefers to have the alfalfa right now as a reward. So that's fine with me. Kind of do whatever your horse wants or is excited by. And right now I'm actually pressing and pushing on the stifle area, and he was very good about that. And then I was able to touch all the way down by the fetlock, so that was really good. And just kind of going back and forth and back and forth. Again, starting where he's comfortable and moving all the way back. This time my hand's back behind the hock. He doesn't mind it on the side, so I give him the reward. And now, I did spend a lot of time on the left side because my goal was that left hind. So I come over back to the right. And he's pretty good about the right front. And then I go starting to work my way back. Again, just touching him all over. Touching the belly. Rewarding that. And again, keeping my arm straight. When I give him the reward. And then there are times where I leave and I come back just to give him a little bit of a break. Trying to keep the sessions relatively short. And again, keeping my arms straight so he learns that he doesn't need to kind of come over in my space. And oftentimes if you have a horse that gets really excited about the reward, what you can do is you can wait until they turn their head away, and then that's when you give the reward. So oftentimes in the beginning you kind of have to be patient, so they start to learn that they too have to be patient. So now I'm working on just touching that right hind. He let me go all the way to the hock. That was pretty good. And again, I'm going to repeat that. And right now I'm kind of feeling that other stifle in comparison. See if I see any difference in the feeling of it, if there's any fluid or anything like that. I didn't feel anything different really. And back to the front leg, we did very good with that. So the last portion of the body I'm going to work on is seeing if I can grab his tail. So that can be a sensitive area for them. I know Dorado thought that was kind of a sensitive spot, but Y was pretty okay with it. So just was able to pick it up and rewarded him. Give him another little break. Come back, and then I'm going to see if I can pick up the foot. So I'm going to say foot as a cue word, and he let me pick it up. So that was a really, really big deal. Trusting me to pick up an injured leg. Now I'm going to go again. Tell him the word to warn him. Pick it up. That was, again, super good. And then just switching things up, going back to the tail, using a bit of show sheen to help get some of those tangles out. Actually, I think it's called laser sheen. And again, seems pretty good with that. So I'm going to give him a reward. Any chance I get, kind of rub him, seeing if I can scratch on his withers. Just some good grooming time together. He's okay with me brushing his tail. Again, just doing it in small sections. And he doesn't seem to mind. So I'm super pleased with the progress we made today, and really happy with Y and how far he's come.